of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father which art in heaven, dear Lord God, we thank you for all your many blessings, your grace and your mercy that you bestowed upon the city of Dillon. Dear Lord God, we ask that you continue to bless our mayor and our city council, our city manager and department heads on tonight as we gather together to make decisions for the betterment of all the citizens of Dillon. And everything that we do, we pray you be careful to give your name the glory, the honor, and the praise. But in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Welcome everybody here this evening on this rainy night. Had a lot of rain lately. Come welcome our visitors, welcome the press. It's always a pleasure having you. I have a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make the motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the minutes from January 12th, regular scheduled meeting.
Make the motion.
Second. Have a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And I just got a few things. We opened up by past Friday night at the Wellness Center. We always talk about, the benefits the Wellness Center played year in and year out. And in conjunction with the Kiwanis Club, I believe, and the city of Dillon, you had the father-daughter dance. I don't know if that's about the 4th, 5th annual one. Eighth annual one. And I went in to use the Wellness Center to go do the workout. And I'll tell you, there were lights coming in, all Commerce down all the way to the Christian school. Then all the way on the other side, 301. And I think you said we had over 900.
They sold over 900 tickets.
Wow. 900 tickets sold at that. Amazing. But it was.
And they had a good time.
Yeah, very nice.
Councilman Elder was there with his daughter. I think she had a blast.
Great time.
It just goes to show you, it's hard to plan stuff like that, the activities for the people who didn't have a place of just strategically pay dividends in that community. Yeah, I know I'm going to let Glenn and Benny get into it a little more. I'm glad to see we made some adjustment on the peddler's license. I've gotten, over the years, a few complaints from peddlers, and I know there's a thin line of what you want to allow them to do, and at the same time, you want to protect the business owners in the city of Dillon. We'll talk about that a little more when Glenn addresses that. You'll see it in your package that we got to vote on tonight on increasing the license, regardless of where they come from. I just want to say I know you're going to get a little pushback on from some of the peddlers, and so it may be something we need to continue to look at, continue to revamp, to be fair for all parties concerned. And I don't think it was prior, so I'm glad you're looking at it and ask you to continue to look at it, and we'll open it up when Glenn brings it up to the program. The golf course. I'm hearing good things about the golf committee after a rocky start, and so I'm glad to hear that. I think they're starting to work together on there and coming up with ideas. I don't know if they come up with solutions yet to some of the issues we're having. Not that we're having too many issues out there, but they are coming up with some ideas. One thing that I was, thought of the other day, and I was asking a fellow at Rotary Club today, Bill, you may know I go out there, I don't eat very much, but if you want to get a hot dog, is there a place to do that?
She can more sandwich, and she'll have soups and things like that available. More sandwich.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Certain times of the week, some days she opens at lunch, some days she doesn't.
Yeah.
Weekends she's open. Monday she may not be open on lunch day, for lunch.
Is there a possibility of in the pro shop of having like a little canteen hot dog stand? I know it could be a pretty good revenue generator. I love when I go out there. I mean, I can grab a quick hot dog, get on the course. I'm not going to eat a can of soup on the golf cart.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an issue with DHEC, maybe.
That would be something we'd have to check with DHEC.
Okay. Do you have those little containers where you put the buns in, the hot dogs and shit?
No, we don't have any of those.
Okay.
We don't have any of those. she
I
had
think
to
she
see.
would do.
Like I said, it just depends on, and she does it based on trends,
Yeah.
how it's been in the past year, 2
She
years,
might
or
be able
3
to
years.
cook hot
You know,
dog.
some days she does, I mean, depending on certain days at lunch, she may or may not be open.
You can take it out of her hands. I mean, she doesn't, I mean, it's not much to a hot dog. They're always in treat.
Oh, yeah. I'll check with DHEC, see what we have to do there.
Thing that I was looking at the budget, uniform purchases for our police and fire department, is that done annually? Every year?
Yeah, I mean, they're always replacing some as they go, but this year was the one they're replacing most of the boxes.
Now, in the police department, we've hired, 5 or 6 new people, so that would be one thing there.
The reason I ask, I think and I just wanted to know, I never noticed that, you know, on the uniform purchases, I think you're around 14,000 on the fire, 12 on the policeman, which is a $26,000 to the budget every year. I didn't know if that's an annual.
What do you buy out of that, Keith?
File
Turnout gear?
sets, we spend about $10,000 on file sets a year. The reason being is every 10 years, for the years you're not, OSHA won't allow you to file firewood. 10 years from the manufacturer, they have to replace that gear.
Yeah.
We've got 30 guys, so every year we replace the 5 worst sets. And we just keep circulating. So now it doesn't matter whether it's your gloves, your turnout gear, your helmets. If it was made, like the ones we got in service now, if they were made before 2005, you can't use them. OSHA doesn't allow it, they can be brand new.
Right, so is the budget for your fire department uniforms 12,000 every year?
Should be somewhere around there. Just on the volunteer side, now the other part is for the engineers.
Engineers,
uniform.
I'm not even counting them.
Yeah, just on the fire gear itself, just for turnout gear, it's probably 12,000.
Glenn and I met with the Wyman Gordon project manager last week, and not to get into too much of that, but it was very interesting. He was very complimentary of our area. They look forward to coming to Dillon. But I brought it up on the Down Home Dillon show that they're going to put a website out, and I hope, Betsy, you report it, and I'll get back with you when I see this. They're going to put a website out on positions that they're going to hire and what those positions entail. From what they told Glenn and I, he did, that the salaries for those jobs are going to be contingent on your skill set. Anywhere from 18 to 22 an hour, but 14 an hour approximately on entry-level positions. I say this in the helping people get prepared for it. You got an opportunity. They're going to ramp up from what they told us. I know they're behind schedule with all the rain in September. And from my understanding, they're going to hire the first couple hundred in the first quarter of 16 and the second, another couple hundred in the first quarter of 17. But they're going to have both buildings supposedly constructed by September of this year. And again, if I get word that website, he said he'll get it back to us. We'll announce it. So I'll call you and get place it on. Just again, mention that to give people an opportunity in our area to get ready if you want something you want to look at. Very excited out there with them. I'm really impressed. And the thing is, they didn't know we had a wellness center until he saw a picture on Glenn's wall. And he'd already asked us to use it for their meetings until they had their building up and coming. And bringing their clerical people in and so forth. Not only that, he's real interested in, pleased with the golf course out there. He didn't know we had these things. He didn't know the city had either one of those avenues for better quality of life here. He had some other issues on housing and stuff, and I told him I would try to get him to meet some of the realtors here. But it made me think that they're going to have quite a few people moving into our area, not only around our area, but in our area. We'll see. And they don't ever like to do a a green space as far as expanding. They like to buy buildings constructed and more of a takeover project, but this is a green space. They have one in South Carolina. A few years back, didn't go very well, I think in the Chester area. But that's how much they were sold on Dillon, that they're going to come in and construct it from the ground up. Of course, the spec building was the key component of that. But they're building a 300,000 square foot building out there, and that's what they're presently doing. It's a new day in Dillon. I hope it's fantastic, spins off many other things to come. It's an exciting time here in Dillon County.
Is county going to replace that spec building with another?
No, not to my knowledge. They're going to use that one they have, and they're going to construct another 300,000 square feet.
I know, but I mean,
Oh, you're going to talk about another? They're looking into it. I know Tony wants to. He told me that. And I think the county right now, I can't speak for, but I think Clay, right now there's a little issue on their mind. I'm thinking, Phil, that you'll probably have private developers coming in and buying the land. That's what I heard.
Which this gentleman did say that was one of the caveats for the reason they located in Dillon, because there was a building.
there was a building. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we ran that line out there once. Maybe there's more out there.
And I'll leave it on, they talked about, they're a global company. He was in Shanghai for I don't know how many years running their operation in China. It's hard to do business overseas now. I mean, it kind of trumps the cheap labor from transportation infrastructure to corruption. And it's just hard to do business there. So that's why a lot of stuff's coming back to the States. And that's where they want to be. If it works out here, he led us to think it's not impossible. They won't move their operations from Mexico to Dillon. So a lot of good stuff there. But look for that website. I'll try my best to get it as soon as they're ready to release it. Another thing I know Glenn brought to my attention, and it just happened to be that I was talking to another fella from out of town who comes to my office and brings this up all the time. Glenn had a meeting at Newberry, I think, and really was impressed with the theater. He mentioned that we probably, we're missing the boat on our theater here on MacArthur Avenue. And I agree with him. I don't know much about the theater and who manages the day-to-day of that. I think it's MacArthur Avenue Players, but I'm not exactly certain. But there is a gentleman who has been in the entertainment industry, has been dying to take that theater over or in some capacity and marketing it. And get Glenn and I to look at the powers to be at the theater to see if what can be done to enhance the.
There's a separate board that operates that theater now. It's not the MacArthur Avenue Players. It's a non-profit board. Robin Thompson is the president of that board right now. And I'd be glad to help facilitate putting whoever this is in touch with that group.
Yeah, I'd like to, that'd be a good idea, Johnny, because I don't know, this party was frustrated at using it, getting it used, and trying to bring it
Well,
up and stuff, so.
I think that'd be a great thing if we could bring some outside entertainment in. And that facility has so much potential that's not being used.
How many
If we could
seats?
get 'em-
How many seats are there? Do you
I think it's about 350.
Like the mayor said, I was in Newberry for a 2-day workshop, and we toured the Opera House, which is, it has history,
Right.
but it only seats 400 people.
Sandy and I go up to Georgia quite often to a little theater called Carolina Theater, which is not much bigger than.
And they
Those two
bring in,
venues
and they
for
bring in,
performances.
some name acts also, and things of that nature.
They have something once or twice a week up
Yeah.
there.
Absolutely, and it's really geared towards seniors. While we were there for 2 days, there was something there that they brought seniors in for certain performances. So I mean, it was.
I really think it could be a regional type program. We could draw from the whole region.
I hear the train coming, I'm just going to close it.
train pacify, but yeah, speaking of the father-daughter dance, that was the 8th one that the city and the Kiwanis Club has put on. And, you know, I fielded a lot of calls and questions of why don't we do a mother-son event, something similar to that. And just for the TV audience and Betsy, the news media, the idea behind father-daughter dance was, we all know about the Kiwanis Club. It does youth baseball, which gears more to the boys.
Yeah.
And as a member of the Kiwanis Club several years ago, and having a daughter who wasn't interested in sports, my thing was, why don't we try to do something for girls? And that's what this grew out of, was, you know, we'll do something for girls and bring the fathers along, and it's been a success. And the money that they raise, whatever revenue is generated, we've always agreed they'd keep it to help that youth baseball program. And it also keeps them from coming back to council or to the city for donations, because we help them on that end. They raised roughly $6,000 this year towards their baseball program, which serves about 300 kids. So that's not a bad program at all. But once again, it was a success. In fact, it was so much a success, if it gets any bigger, I don't know where we park people. I've never had issues with parking, or not really bad parking issues, but this year when we knew Thursday afternoon we had sold 500, 600 tickets, that Friday hadn't come yet, and we would sell a whole lot more. So I got with the police department and Captain Lane, and we arranged for 3 police officers to help with parking. If not, I don't know where we'd park people. So it worked out well, and the weather was great.
Good problem to have.
Yeah, it was a good problem to have, and the weather was great, and everybody had a good time. So, first thing I have on my list is talk about some of the water sewer projects that's going on over at Stewart Heights through the Community Development Block Grant, which started about 2 weeks ago. This is replacing water lines, putting in new water meters, and repairing some and replacing sewer lines. At this point in time, we're about 25% complete with that project. Everything seems to be going pretty smooth. Hardly any indications that they're slowing down, any reason?
No, they come right along.
And we have talked in the previous months about the Orville Basin.
What was our match on that?
50,000, I think.
That was already budgeted.
Yeah.
What's the total cost of the project?
350, somewhere in that ballpark. We had talked several months about the Orville Basin out of the wastewater plant. That's the basin that has the catwalk that goes across us that aerates the waste. We're probably about 30 days out to bid that project out. You know, the guesstimate we got 2 months ago was 350,000 is what we were looking at. We won't know that until this actually goes out for bid, but it's scheduled to go out in the next 30 days. So within probably our April meeting, we'll come back with the bids, and we'll go from there.
What is our plans on finishing phase 3 of the situation out at the water treatment? It's kind of pushed down on the priority list. Okay.
Due to the fact that if we have an issue there, it's not in a road, it's easily accessible, and we can bypass quickly. And without all these other issues that are popped up.
That was another 300,000.
It was guesstimated, that's correct. And we still have on the table, and we're still waiting from DOT. Remember we talked a year and a half, 2 years ago about the river bridge being replaced. We've got a sewer line that's got to be relocated. That has not gone out to bid yet or finished design, because they're still waiting on DOT to give us the final designs on the bridge. So we're not able to do anything there until they get all their stuff worked out, so we can know where we got to relocate.
So we got $1 million worth of potential
That's correct, yeah. But then we are working on finding some funding, especially with the one out on the river, to get some funding there for us on that.
Tell us what happened with, if we can, with the Purdue and adjustment of their fee due to our operation maintenance?
I met with Randy Brown, I guess a month ago, maybe a little less than that. Beginning April the 1st of this year, they will start paying a higher rate, but not as high as is projected to be. And we're going to do this for 18 months. No, I'm sorry, 15 months. April 1st of this year to June 30th of next year, 2016. It usually goes from July 1 to June 30th. But I got him to agree to go ahead and start it in April. That's when his budget starts. It goes from is it $3.21 right now? $3.21 per thousand. It will go to $3.55 per thousand. Based on OM&R, it should be closer to $3.90 per thousand, $3.90.
So are we gonna make that up by extending it a longer period of time?
That is correct. April, May, and June of this year.
Well, if we've got these kind of projects coming, it's gonna be high again, and they'll have to be
And
adjusted.
well, it's adjusted every year
I know that.
based on the audit, and the previous 3 years of the audit, their rate has gone down. For the next 2 or 3 years, it's going to go increase based on what we're spending.
I think originally that was $1.92 a gallon.
$1.70 something a gallon.
$1.70 when they
Is when
were
we
crazy
first
when it
started.
went $1.92.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Now, we're also working and talking about, as we've talked before, the SRF loan expires February, March of next year. And he and I both have agreed that we need to keep the depreciation money as we're doing it. And we're going to work that out between now and the next year. Because he feels like that it needs to be there, and we absolutely feel like it needs to be there. If it's not there, then we would have to adjust the rates even more to accommodate that.
I told him what we needed to do is get our engineers and their engineers together and decide what needs to be in that fund and fund it up to it, continue some type of payment until we reach that funding, and then back down and then do it off of operation, maintenance, and repair. If we had a big thing, either fund it again or just adjust it with the rate.
And we talked about that. The number we discussed was $2.5 million is where we'd like to see it, which I don't think is enough either. Because we could spend a good bit of that just as we did in the past 24 months.
Yeah.
We have jumped into that appreciation count big time.
Let me add on that. I hope they do something with the odor on Commerce. Has that been finalized yet, Hardy, if we decided?
We're fixing to try one more chemical company to see how that works.
But if it don't work.
Well, it's not that it doesn't work. We're trying to find the one that's going to be the least cost.
The least expensive with the best result.
Is what we're looking at. Because the first one we did, which was the total locks that we talked about a year or so ago, it's projected if we use that, we'd spend additional $150,000 a year. If we can find something that can do equal to what that total locks is and pay $75,000, it's a win-win.
Where does that pipe come from?
Which one?
The one that goes to that lift station, or to that?
It starts at Purdue.
I know, but I mean, how does it track?
It goes Purdue, runs about through the Wicks area, Hardy.
It comes across that field right across from Wicks and then cuts down the frontage road going to Bass Lake. And it takes a right between the Christian school and then it just follows the curve on around.
Couldn't move that thing right out there on I-95? It bores under 95, I assume?
Yes, sir.
You couldn't move that station out there where no one lives?
It'd be nice.
It's almost like we're getting a reputation away if it stays bad, like you go through Bishopville. In that area.
But when you, and I haven't smelled it in a while.
Got better for a while.
Yeah. When we were putting in that chemical, whatever chemical we try, it works. But at the same time, when we do these studies, he does them for 2 to 4 weeks, Hardy.
Yeah, something like that.
And, you know, not only are we trying to kill the odor, but we're also trying to make sure that it eliminates the odor, but it also helps us on the bottom end at the plant in what we're receiving and what Purdue is giving us. And it's got to be a partnership between the two of us. We don't want them to give us bad stuff, but we also want them to give us bad stuff so we can see if this stuff works when they do give us bad stuff. So it's a two-edged sword.
Glenn, I want to go back to the funding you talked about. Where you plan on getting the funding from to try to help us with this wastewater?
SRF funding, which could be a loan or a grant, a grant or a loan, the loan being roughly 1% money. What is called RIA, which is Rural Infrastructure Funds, which is a maximum of about $250,000, which that's what we're doing right now. We're using RIA money to do the study and to update and upgrade the lift station at Commerce and the one at Purdue. And then the other funding would be through Community Block Development Grant. Is what
We're not going to be mandated to put in the water tower, are we?
No, but that's back on our list. Now that we're looking at the big SRF loan coming off within a year, we're thinking of going that route. Plus, once again, the rural infrastructure money and community block development grants to help fund that.
Is there a projected time that they're going to have us out of the river?
No,
You know of any date?
they hadn't told us anything,
I mean, are they working towards that?
no more than they have in the past.
I wonder if, if we did a block, a grant like that we ought not to go ahead and, we got capability in the spray field for another 1 million gallons a day.
We can treat it, but we get a bunch of rain, we don't have
Yeah,
anywhere
we
to
just
put
don't
it.
have nowhere to spray it. Yeah. And we have looked several years ago at some land out there, and really, if I remember correctly, and I think it was Husky, Bell and Young that did the latest one, there wasn't really anything really around us there that we could purchase that we could apply water to.
Who's writing the grant to the community development to get us the money to try to help with that?
Well, we haven't started that project yet.
So who would write it?
Whoever either PD cog or a grant writer. Last two things I have, things that popped up today that probably will not affect us in that we don't really write traffic tickets, but there's a bill in the House that is going to require cities to add a surcharge to parking ticket violations, which we don't write many parking ticket violations. And also a surcharge to those cities who own parking lots and parking garages that they charge, and parking meters, which we don't have those either. They're looking to put a surcharge on that to help fund the fixing of the roads in the state, that the state owns. I don't think that'll pass. There's too many small communities in the state who don't collect that kind of money. Just only the larger states, the larger cities do that. I don't think that will pass. But another one that's another one that's on discussions, and I don't know if it's been presented yet, either in the House or in the Senate, is that the state is looking to give state roads to the counties and the cities for them to maintain, and we will never be able to do that. And I don't think that would pass either, but there's some ideas being floated out there to help maintain the state roads. If you had any discussions with any House or Senate Senate members, you need to let them know that neither one of those ideas are good ideas.
Well, you tell Howard, me and Bill were just talking, it's probably something that we don't like, but anybody does, when they buy a new vehicle, we just let the cap on the sales tax rates. I want that generated.
And right now it's $300 a cap.
300, 350 cap, yeah. I was looking at a car, and from Fayetteville, and they say, oh, well, you're in South Carolina, it'll save you,
Oh, yeah.
you know, a lot of money.
That is correct. And the last thing I have, I'll introduce Mr. Ben Ziegler again, and he's just here to follow up on the ordinance that we have for final reading, just to go over some discussions and some latest numbers. So you'll have some ideas, and what you're going to have here is two scenarios, and he'll go over those scenarios, but
So those are for y'all, Glenn, I got.
oh, you got theirs, okay.
Two separate.
This isn't in the package.
Probably is, I always bring
No.
an extra copy.
Yeah, that's in the packet, the ordinance. Yeah, the ordinance.
Just
is
want
in
to
the
make sure
packet.
you had the latest and greatest. It hadn't changed since y'all gave first reading. Mayor, members of council, good to see you again. Always glad to hear that the wellness center is doing well. I got to tell you, you mentioned the golf course. I'm on the board of the South Carolina Golf Association and am involved with the PD chapter of the South Carolina Junior Golf Association. We have a little summer tour that plays in Florence, Marion, and Dillon, and all over the PD. And I will tell you that y'all's course is one of the best stops on that tour. Everybody enjoys it. It's a great course. As a matter of fact, it's the first course where my 12-year-old son shot below par in the round, so he loves that course. We always enjoy going there. Appreciate y'all doing that. It's a great thing y'all have done for not only your community but for the area. As Glenn mentioned, what I want to do is give you an update on the refunding of the general obligation bond for second reading of your ordinance. Again, the ordinance that I handed out is the same, not exceeding amount, same general provisions regarding sale of the bond, the use of the proceeds for the refinancing. What I've brought that's new is an update on the numbers with a 10-year term, and then just a little snapshot of what it might look like. One of the things Glenn asked me about and asked me to prepare for you was the possibility of maybe, instead of taking those savings year by year, utilizing those savings to knock a year off your debt service, pay the bond off early using those savings. So let's look real quick. This sort of landscape sheet, this got the title at the top of it, is new in that what we've done is we've narrowed down the principal amount of the refunding bond, $2,129,500. We've also got a better handle on what your interest rate is likely to be. We sold a 10-year GO bond for Marion County last week, and it came in at 2.3, so we think that's roughly where it's going to be. And if you plug those in there, you come up with savings of about $17,000 a year. We've also, one thing Janet pointed out this morning is that even though normally when you look at a general obligation bond, because it's paid from taxes, you analyze it on a calendar year basis because taxes are levied on a calendar year. Because you all are paying this out of your hospitality tax money, you're budgeting it every fiscal year. So we'd actually run this now. There's no difference other than how you look at it. The number's the same, but we run it on a fiscal year rather than a calendar year basis. It comes out to about $17,746 a year. Total savings of about $177,463 a year. That is about 8.5% of the outstanding principal amount. Just to give you a rule of thumb, normally if savings are at 4% or higher against principal, it's worth doing. So an 8.5% is pretty solid. So y'all stuck with your 10-year term. You're basically extending the term by about 2 months. You made your last payment in December, but we'll keep from 10 years from the date we issued this new bond, so it would pay off in February of 25 rather than December of 24. You're looking at about $177,000 in total savings. Glenn said, okay, well, what about shortening it, using those savings to knock a year off of it? And if you'll flip to the second sheet, which is the portrait sheet, just a quick and dirty of keeping your same payment of $258,677.
I'm not sure we got that. I thought I passed it. Was it on?
I passed, did I not give them to you?
This is
Pass
the
it down?
preview.
Okay. Did they get stuff down there? Let's see. Let's try that again. Here we go.
You got them right there.
I got them right there, I apologize. If you kept your same payment of $258,677.65, you could have that payment in years 1 through 8, but when you got to year 9, there's not enough to completely eliminate that 10th year payment without paying a little bit more in year 9, so you wind up paying about $45,000 extra. You pay $305, $48, $86 in year 9. So you would shorten it by a year, but you pay a little bit extra in that last year. You have something of a balloon payment. Certainly something we can do. It just depends on what council's priorities are.
Is the percentage dropping more with this, going this route?
No, I think the savings are the same. It's just how you're deploying them. You know, if you're using them to pay off early rather than taking the savings as a cash flow savings over the same period. I will tell you one thing about this, though. We've already advertised this bond for sale as a 10-year bond. We're going to take bids on Thursday. So if y'all decided you would rather go the route of knocking a year off of it, we'd have to pull the advertisement, re-advertise the sale. It's not the end of the world. It costs you a few $100 extra. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Really, what's the possibility we're going to get a better interest rate than Marion?
Very good.
I mean, because we're not in bad shape.
No, I think it's, yeah, I think
I
it's,
mean, that could be
now better is going to be,
2.1.
well, I don't know if it'll be 2.1. I think you might get between 2.2 and 2.3.
Okay.
So it's not gonna push this so you do get a full year's payment knocking it off.
My feeling on this is that we have a 40-year depreciation building that we're paying off in 20 years. We're already way ahead of the schedule.
Yes, sir.
I'd say leave it at 10, take the savings. In 10 years, hopefully, Highway 9 is going to be even more developed. And those revenues will be higher out there for our 2% money.
We're taking advantage of historically low interest rates.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
Riding while we can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see.
I don't see any advantage to doing it.
Yeah, I don't either. I think we certainly could use the money. Not that we need the absolute money now, but we've got some projects that we'd like to do. This might push those projects a little bit
But
better.
on your numbers here, you got 2.31%, and on this one here, you got 2.2%.
Because that's 9 years. 10 years versus 9 years.
Yeah.
You got a little bit better
So
rate.
your rate's gonna go down a
A
little bit.
little bit better rate if you pay it off, but you're going to have to come up with some extra.
I think that's the better way to go.
Well, just looking at it, if I did this right, the 2.3% interest rate, we're looking at paying a total over the next 10 years, 2.4 million, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Principal and interest?
Yeah, 279,000 and 280,000 in interest.
So 2.4 million, and then on the one, if you cut a year off, you're gonna pay 2.374, which is a total of $35,000 difference.
Over 10 years.
Is what you would say, 35,000 versus saving 177,000.
You just gotta add a balloon payment at the end.
It felt like we're drying up out there on I-95. We're just, who knows what's going to happen in 10 years, but I don't think 1 year is going to make that much difference. And this will make available funds now. What do we have in the reserve fund with the 2% money?
Really almost.
733.
And we had just paid that.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Based on 7 months of this budget year, we're averaging almost 42,000 a month. And if we keep that pace, we would be almost 500,000 collected versus 400,000 what we budget. So we're looking at 100,000 surplus
Ben, is there a prepayment penalty, say in 2 years from the loan, the duration, the security of the loan, we want to just pay the thing off?
Well, that's interesting you mentioned that. We're gonna let the banks propose that, and see what they come up with. If they don't say anything about a prepayment penalty, we won't put one in there. If they come back and require a prepayment, right now, it's not,
That'd be, I think that'd be
Yeah.
a good way to have, you know, if there's no prepayment penalty. If we get fraud, we can pay it off.
right.
You know, if we get all our projects done, we got money in the bank, we want to put, you know, let's just pay it off.
Well, this is a good idea on looking at the 1 year, but if they got it out for bid at 10 now.
Right.
Yeah, I suggest going forward. It's not a bad scenario either.
Thank
You need a motion?
No, he just was gonna update you, and then when we
You'll
get
give
into,
second reading.
yeah, after you do citizens
you.
report.
We'll
you'll
take
do
bids
that.
on Thursday. We'll get with Janet and Glenn and award it to the low bidder, and we'll have this closed by the end of the month.
Good
Appreciate
job,
y'all.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ben.
Yes, sir.
Anybody got any more questions? Citizens report, Mayor.
Anybody have anything they'd like to bring to our attention at this time?
I do.
Yes, ma'am, thank
We
you.
have 2 new prospective BAR board members, which has not happened in a while. This is Annie Smith.
Which one, stand up?
She's,
There you go. Glad to have you.
don't stand up too hard, they'll get you. And somebody that just moved to town, this is Jennifer Bertie. And I have to tell you, they brought the big white house on Main Street that has the big tall columns on the corner. And they've been here 5 weeks, and this is her son Josh. So we were real pleased that they bid off a big property to take care of. So with y'all's approval, we're still a couple people short, but this puts us up to be able to vote with a quorum if we need to.
All right. We certainly appreciate y'all serving on that board.
Do you need a motion to be approved?
I think you do.
Yes.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Anybody opposed? Carries. Okay, anything else? There's nothing else going forward. We've got unfinished business ordinance 1501 to provide for the issuance and sale of not exceeding $2,175,000 in general obligation refunding bond of 2015.
I make a motion.
Second. All in favor? Opposed? New business ordinance 1502, the amended business license ordinance to increase rates for peddlers.
Make a motion.
Well, I want some discussion.
You know what?
Before we get something else. Just want to ask a question, and I don't know, I want to get educated a little bit on it. We do have some people come in on the weekends. I see the guy down here in front of the Tiger
And it
Mark,
might be a nice.
does the airbrushing and stuff. I guess my question is, does he just come, I just see him on the weekends, so will he have to pay the $500?
That'd be super.
You know, how does that work, Tim?
Only the peddlers, the ones that actually set up beside the road and retail sales, whether it be,
He comes in just on Saturday, he
Yeah.
does his airbrushing. He'll have
if he's selling items, yes, sir, if he's retail selling and don't have a place of business where he's selling from, but if he's selling out from his truck or a car or from door to door, yes, sir, he has to have a peddler's license.
And when he pays the $500 for a year, $500?
Yes, sir.
I said there'd probably be some pushback. What came to my mind was the guys that sell the Dillon Wildcat shirts and sweatshirts that you see out there, you know, so it doesn't affect everybody either. It never does. But it's an ongoing process.
Yes.
I mean,
Now, the ones it will not affect will be those folks who sell produce who have less than an acre,
Less than an acre.
and it's in the city or the county.
In the city.
How you know they got less than an acre?
But there's not too many places in the city that gonna have more than an acre.
No, I'm talking about,
Yeah.
they selling their produce, how you know they don't have 2 or 3, 5 acres and they bring it to the city to sell it?
Usually, in a case like that, if you have someone that's got a small garden where they're selling like collards and stuff like that, ones that selling like peaches and oranges and things of that nature, more than likely they're going to have more than an acre, or they perhaps bought the fruit from somewhere else and came to Dillon and is now reselling to the public. Usually those types of tellers that sell produce, if they have less than an acre, they're selling something like collard, cabbage, sweet potato, stuff like that. They're not going to have more than an acre. The ones that normally have more than an acre brings in your bigger trucks. And what they do is sell from the back of their trucks, and they're mostly is out of town. Most of your in-town that's set up by the roads are from the county, and their growers are usually less than an acre. We have ways of doing it.
So, use an example, the across from Howard Edwards'
Yes.
station where they sell that produce there, they'll be subject to this new.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, that gentleman sitting in front of Family Dollar, what will he have to pay?
He will be subject to that tax as well. He's paying the $340 peddler's license now, so he would still be subject to that $500 tax.
Which he's out of the county.
That's correct.
It's on that 340.
Does the county have a business license?
No, sir.
So how about the guy that's doing the airbrushing? Do you know what I'm talking about? Is he paying the $340 right now? The guy that comes in on the weekends, on the Saturday, and does the airbrushing?
And where's he set up at?
He's there during the week sometimes.
I had never seen him.
Near the Exxon station.
Yeah, right there, that greenhouse on the corner.
Oh, yes, sir. He's
How many
licensed.
times is he there? Two days a week or so?
He has a license.
He's paying the $340.
Yes.
Same one on the corner of Mullins Highway and Main Street, too.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. See, that's a tough nut to crack, and we do try to get it perfect, and I don't think we'll ever do that.
Yeah, you never will.
One more question. How often is the guy selling the shirts, where somebody referenced it just a minute ago, selling the Dillon Wildcat shirts?
Yes.
Are they up there 3 or 4 times a week?
And sometimes it is,
I don't
yeah,
know.
sometimes it is.
So
And when you
still
do-
have that balance, you know,
Yeah,
you got
well-
somebody comes in 4 times a month versus
Yeah.
somebody who sells 20 times a month. I mean,
But that's left up to you how many times you want to come. But when you think about it, and we'll use that as an example, I mean, you've got 2 or 3 businesses in town that sell the
yeah, I
same
understand
thing.
that.
And they're paying you,
Right. I want
Yeah,
to
they're
protect
paying
the
you
business. I
more,
want to be loyal to the business.
they're paying rent, insurance, and business license,
Taxes.
taxes. Yeah.
I just hate to see the come and selling recliners. Yeah, and
Understand that.
the guy selling the $5 shirt, but, just keep working on it. Just trying to be
Well,
careful.
he's taking that business from downtown.
Somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's right.
Limited amount of cash in this little
We
town.
got to have a motion on this tonight?
If you want to pass it or,
Make a motion.
Yeah.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
this is just first reading, so we'll have a month to hear anybody that may or may not like it.
Okay. Council member reports, Mr. Ellis.
I got a couple of things, Mayor. I'd like to go to the golf course legend and ask a question about the salary. From last month, it was $8,000, the full-time salary, and this month here, I think it was $13,000, we went to $8,000, but I noticed we got workman's comp. Just wanted to know how we got the big difference, because they're on salary, correct?
Say that one more time, sorry.
It was $13,000 in January you paid out, and this month here you paid out $8,000.
Well, actually, that would have been December, and this is actually
This is
January.
January, correct.
We had 5 months and then the
5
longevity,
weeks.
5 weeks and longevity pay and then the flat fee, so that's what that was.
I want to go to the police officers. I know we talked about the body cameras. I'd like for you to fill us in on that, man, because I know me and you talked about it a little bit, and then I want to add a little bit to it, if I can.
We're looking at right now purchasing, Chief, 5 or 6? 5, and we're going to test those 5 and see how it works.
Okay.
I met with the officers a month ago to get their feedback, and those that were at the department meeting thought it was a good idea. So we're gonna try it. Don't wanna go out right now too quick and spend a lot of money. They're anywhere from $500 to $1,000, because the state may come back and help us on some of these things. But we're gonna get them and try it and see how it works.
I just hope that we kind of expedite that process as fast as we can, because I really think these guys took an oath to protect the citizens, and we need to give them all the necessary equipment they need.
Absolutely.
I also want to talk about the fire department. I mean, have we ever thought about getting them a camera where they can wear on their helmets when they go and fight a fire, and try to use some training behind that to see if they can get better on what they've done wrong or whatever? Have we ever looked at that, Keith?
We got 2 chrome images now.
Okay.
We don't have the ones now on the helmet, we got the ones that's mobile. So we got 2 of those. We purchased one, last year we got new trucks. We got one on the 2 first trucks out. So we have 2 of those.
Another thing, are we fully staffed with the police department now?
Yes.
We are fully staffed. Okay. I understand we got a new policy in effect, as far as testing and all that. We can't somehow, tweak that policy to the, and what I mean by that is, in May, we're gonna take another test, and we're gonna have 3 or 4 officers that's gonna take this test. That's 3 months from now. I mean, is there any way to speed up the process to where we can go ahead and get the promotion in effect? We got somebody who's filling the role right now. I don't know who it is. I just, I mean, why does it got to be a certain? Why does it got to be May? That's my thing. Why
Well,
just
I guess
simple?
as the chief, I can change it anytime I want to.
Well, I mean, I understand that, Chief. That's why I'm trying to have some dialogue with you. I mean, 3 months from now, we're gonna take a test. Why can't we speed that up and give somebody that leadership role? I mean, that's all.
That's what we decided to do when we started this thing originally. We had May to May.
Once a year.
Right, but I mean, you got 3 months there now. I mean, you got somebody filling that role. Is that the right person to fill that role? I mean, that's what I'm asking. I don't know, you might have picked the person to fill that role. But how about other police officers who want that chance to have that leadership role? I mean, does it just got to be that certain individual for 3 more months? Can you decide fully who gets the promotion?
It's gonna be decided in May when they all take their tests and stuff.
So the person that's filling the leadership role at this time is going to hold that position.
Till that
till May.
position, whatever position you're talking about, I'm not really sure which one you're talking about.
Well, your lateral, Ryan Berry, he got a promotion. That left the position open on shift work. I don't know who's filling that role right now. I'm just saying, is
We're
that
kinda
the right
watching that
person?
right now and see how to step forward.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm asking. I mean, because you're not going to take the test in May to actually fill that position probably 2 months from then. Because you're going to take the test, you're going to look at the results of the test, probably do a little bit more leadership type things to see if he's the person.
Steps forward. That's kind of what I'm doing right now.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure that, everybody has an equal opportunity to, if they want a leadership role, I don't understand the May thing, that's my thing. I mean, we got 3 months from now, that person's just going to be filling that role, temporarily.
Well, and it's not just this one person. So when that one person is out, that you and I are thinking about, then somebody else behind that person's got to step up. And we watch that person, how they may carry on with shifts.
Yeah, but it might be somebody on like A card. I don't know how you got your card at A, B, C, or D, or how you classify your shift. But there might be somebody on C card who wants to, take that temporary role on A card that you will have to fill the position with, the promotion with. That's what, instead of just that one person. That's all I'm asking.
Yes.
We're responsible for this location of this building, correct?
Yes.
I mean, county's got the
We
2nd
pay-
floor and the 3rd floor.
Yeah, we pay 35% of all monthly bills that this building generates.
As far as the restrooms, do they have to be handicapped accessible through ADA? I mean, because I
Those downstairs are.
They are.
The stalls are. The stalls are. Yeah, the doors aren't.
Can we look at? I mean, I had a couple people approach me.
I don't know if we're required to, are we?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
We're not required because of the age of the building. Yeah. But I mean, not just restrooms, the whole building's not ADA compliant.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
The doors.
We're redoing the sidewalks out here.
Well, but just getting into the doors are not ADA required. I mean,
I didn't know. I told him I would ask. Go from there. I think that's all I got, Mayor.
I just got one thing. One, I've got a location that I've got a call from a couple of folks on that I need to get you to look at night at a light for, on a pole. It's on John Street, right in the area. It's mid-block between McLean and River. The pole number is AK14BP. Dave, that's kind of a long block there. It's a double block.
Have we done that one? That one ring a bell?
You just don't want on John Street.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
check it.
1300 block, is that the same?
David Street, Richard Street, and Hillside all have lights at that mid-block area, but John Street does not.
I'll look and
That's right in
see.
the area of Earl Dutton, Mickey Miles.
He
Jim
just
Miles.
put in for it.
Yeah, we just did.
Okay.
When you said
That's
Mr.
a
Miles.
That's a really dark area. My mom used to.
That one's been ordered.
Okay. Thank you. That is a dark area. They do need it. That's all I
He
have.
attacked too. When he attacked the ones.
That's all I have.
I got a few things. On the, well, Johnny went there, on the test with the police officer, right? Okay, those tests are graded in a certain manner, who has a high test grade or something? How you
Yes.
grade those things?
Yeah, they're graded based on right answers, correct answers. And just like you normally would take a test.
So this fellow got an A, he get a job.
No,
Compared
not
to the fellow
always.
with a B.
Not always, no. I mean, it's more than taking a test. You have an interview process, a test, and history. History and what you've done in the department. So it's really three things that are involved.
Right, so that can go from what kind of trouble you ever been in with the department, or you ever been spending or anything like that?
Well, it could have some play in it, then depending on what you've done since that time.
That's all I got. Is there any way I can get some nets at the criteria center?
Basketball net?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I got is, when those piles of dirt down there at City Hall, can folks get enough of that to fill in the potholes in front of the mailbox and stuff like that? If they got a vehicle to get in it?
Yes, sir.
and clean
We
that?
just don't haul it out in the truckload anymore. They,
Right,
stop doing that. That's
right,
not supposed to do that.
right, I got you.
But if they got, holes out by the mailbox on the street right away, we can come out and fix that.
Okay, but that's about all I need. Cause we got to have a few of them over there complaining about that.
We did a little bit of that work.
Yeah, I saw they appreciate that too. And on this, on Fifth Avenue, did they say they'd be done sometime during the summer?
That is gonna be done. Now, I don't know when they bidded it out, if they had bidded it out, but that one is gonna be done. Resurface.
That's all I got.
Let me follow behind Buddy, if I can, man. At Harmon Park, where you go on the side, it's not the side on, is it 8th Avenue, on the 10th Avenue side. Can we do anything about it's like a lot of tire tracks and stuff?
Yes, sir.
Where they, you know what I'm talking about, Bert? Can you
Yes,
get
problem
some dirt
on that
put in?
side.
Huh?
It holds water on that side.
Yeah, it holds water.
Yeah.
Can we try to
We'll
look?
work on it.
Okay, I appreciate it.
We put it before.
Yeah, we.
I know it, y'all done something before, but it's got bad again.
Problem is, in the end where the water drains, a little small pipe.
Right.
And it stops up all the time.
That's the Jefferson Street side or 10th Avenue side?
10th Avenue.
You know,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna ask you this, Benny, but I said I better ask you, because I may be wrong. I had a call from the wellness center on my cell phone. I was leaving the wellness center about 7:30 one night. He went right to it, bam, wanting us to go winterize his house. Now, we don't do any of that. We don't, there's no funds for doing winterize somebody's house regardless of income, right? I mean, you don't.
We don't.
But you can direct.
Yes,
Let me tell you
sir.
what, he wanted to speak to the mayor of Dillon County. That's what he thought he had. And he went right to it. He said, you do it. I said, no. He said, aren't you the mayor of Dillon County? I said, no, sir. I'm the mayor of Dillon. And he went on and told me this thing, and I told him to call you. I didn't know his name, but he hung up. When I told him I worked the mayor of Dillon County, He wanted to know who the mayor of Dillon County was. I hung up the phone. Who that is? But you can correct whatever agency, okay.
Yes.
And, I wrote the names of the people at the Dillon County Chamber of Commerce banquet, and I left it at my office, but I hate to not mention the Golf Bratty Award winner and the Volunteer Award winner. I'll bring their name next time. I do want to recognize A.B. Jordan as Citizen of the Year, congratulate him for that honor. And the last thing, I'm always trying to, if you're looking for something to do out there with your time, you won't find more rewarding thing than helping the Dillon Animal Shelter. That's a special bunch out there, so if anybody out there on the TV or the paper wants to find something to do a few hours a day that's very rewarding, they got something for you. That's all I got.
It's got two things. One, at the golf course, what was the 10,174 contractual? $62,000 a year and 10,000 in change.
That is your lease payment to the property, lease payment to
Carts.
to the golf carts, and I'm not sure what else.
What's the other 5,000?
Yeah. Because we spent 10,000 this year. I don't remember. I mean, this month, past month.
It just, I mean, if you got 62,000, we had a.
Yeah, we're at 75%, where it should be after 7 months, 58%.
Yeah.
We'll look and see if that's been coded in the wrong place, but
It's just a little high there. The other thing is the concern about what we're gonna do at the fitness center. A lot of people are upset about that being the little park there being on the turn, and wanted to know if we were gonna look at doing something to protect the.
well, I have contacted DOT, one to request to reduce the speed limit, which that'll probably happen. The other request, I made 3 requests: reduce speed limit, install guardrails in that turn, and third, put up signs, children at play. Haven't heard back from DOT as of yet. I've also looked into, that you and I talked about a week or so ago, about some what's called security planners. We've looked into those, and that's something that we can do. It would also give us some landscaping out of that area. So,
I really think that guardrail would just take away from.
It would, and I doubt they even do it. The preliminary discussion was we only put those up on interstates and at big ravines, and neither one of those apply in this area. But I think putting those large planters could be a possibility. And then we also are fencing in that area, just to keep kids from wandering out to the road. That's one thing. So that's where we sit right now. And since,
It looks better than I thought.
well, since you brought up the playground, and I meant to, the playground system as a whole is in. There's no swings on the swing set, because we don't want nobody on the property or on the playground right now. One, because the safety surface hadn't been installed, and waiting on the weather to cooperate with that. We need 3 days of 40 degrees higher temperatures day and night to pour, and for that stuff to cure properly. So as soon as they can forecast 3 good days of weather that's going to be 40 degrees or above day and night, they'll start on that. And then once that's completed, we'll put the fence in and do all the other things. So, but yes, it's a nice little playground.
I'm worried about the fence. If you want to close it with fence, then I think that would look worse.
Well, what we're looking at doing is putting, like we have on Main Street here, that fencing that we put along Main Street.
Not chain link.
Not chain link, no.
Yeah.
You know, we wanted to dress it up. Didn't want to put it in like a prison camp.
Barbed wire on top.
Yeah. And it'd be about, what, 5 feet tall, Bert?
Yes, sir.
How many won't be out there during the week, no way, will it?
Pardon?
Twain, we won't be on the thing out there during the week, no way, will it? Did you go out on the weekend?
No, it'd be there the whole time. Yeah. And the playground,